Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closers Show. As always, I'm your host, Scott Carson. Excited to be here with you this Monday morning as it is in the office. Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend. It is hard to believe that May is literally 3/4 of the way done. Wow, the time absolutely flies. And it's hard to believe that the time has flown over the last 9 months because today is our 9-month celebration of when we launched our first episode that went on iTunes of the Note Closer Show podcast. So we're excited. We're celebrating a very special milestone as well because we just hit 100,000 downloads. If you look up in the top corner there, for those that are watching here, excited. 100,000 downloads in the first 9 months. Pretty stoked about that. Absolutely just blown away. That's just the downloads on iTunes, Stitcher, and that stuff. That's not counting the other $500,000 views from people watching on Facebook Live, along with watching on YouTube or Vimeo and things like that. So absolutely blown away. I want to thank all of our listeners out there for listening, for sharing, for leaving reviews. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of our extended Note family. As always, we want to throw it out, some information out there. If you're not following us on the Facebook page, please take a minute to do so. Check out the Note Closure Show podcast. We got some great stuff going on there. I have to give a big shout out. We've got our full-time, we have a marketing intern, Shannon Strebel, joined us over a week ago. And she has been doing some great marketing to the Instagram page for the podcast, and along with posting to my LinkedIn profile as well. So thank you, Shannon, for being a part of that and helping out. We're looking forward to what you are bringing to the table as far as marketing. So, today's obviously a very busy day in the office. Monday is always our busiest day. We have Note Night in America going on. Our webinar tonight can talk about how to hit base hits and home runs, how to be a really good 5-tool real estate and note investor in your note business, and really help you take advantage of what's going on in the market, making sure things are good. So you're going to definitely want to join us for Note Night in America tonight, or catch the replay if you're listening as well. So thank you, Gail. Appreciate the comment there. Congratulations, awesome accomplishment. So glad that me with some guidance on this note base. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I don't know if we got 1 million followers on there, but that's we're shooting for that. That's our next big goal, to knock that out of the park, to get to the point where we have over 1 million downloads. Cedric, good morning to you as well, buddy. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Could not do it without our listeners. Could not do it without our extended Note family. So it's kind of funny. When we started this podcast over a year ago, actually, I should say we started with the Facebook Lives in November of 2016. Just to touch base with everybody in our tribe on basically a almost daily basis, and how it obviously blossomed into the podcast, 9 months ago. It turns out we're the only, we are now the longest running podcast out there, as I guess the others that have had shows are no longer going to continue their shows, which is unfortunate and sad to see. So, hey, Eric Hyde, Wasabi, good hanging out with you in San Diego. Yes, sir. Good to see you as well at the Magnifier Wealth Summit. So I headed out Friday. I headed out Thursday night, actually, here from Austin, Texas, and finally made it to San Diego. About a 2.5-hour delay here from the Austin airport, and flew into San Diego just to hang out with Aaron Young, Megan Cole, Michelle Young, Brent Biscay, Kevin Day, and a whole bunch of great people at the Magnifier Wealth Summit in San Diego. It's always great to catch up with Eric Hyde, Bill Griesemer, Rob Ramirez. Who else was there? We had a couple other people that were there. Trying to think who else was there. A couple other people were there, and I'm drawing a blank right now. Coffee's not kicked in, but we just had a great time. Catch up with old friends, new friends, the Questies. Big shout out to Rebecca Miller and Haley Gant from the Dallas office were there. So it was great visiting with them. Just talking with people, just to hang out. I didn't speak. I just kind of just chilled out and talked to people, got a little bit of work done, made some connections, talked with Kevin Day and Brent Biscay. One of the things that we are working on is our own Rockefeller strategy that Laughlin offers up. And so they're in the process of putting that together. And it's, sometimes you just want to fly out and talk to your attorney, visit with him, see what's going on, and run a couple ideas by him for some things. So that's what I did. And I flew out just to carve a few minutes at a time with Kevin Day, visit with him for 15 minutes, talk with Brent Busquet for a few minutes on our own entities and some of the things that we're structuring. And it was worth the trip. It's always nice to visit with Aaron Young and Megan Cole and them over at Laughlin as well, one of our sponsors of the podcast as well. So just like I said, it's one of these days you just want to jump on a plane, and it's relatively inexpensive with Southwest to do that, especially when you got as many miles as we do. But we have thought we'd go through our top 10 episodes that we've had so far from the Note Closure Show podcast over the last 9 months. I ran some numbers last night, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised at a few episodes that are still ranking in the top 10 to really kind of drive some things home of what you guys love listening to, what you guys love to hear about, and it's things that we will keep focused on in our next 100-plus episodes. Because I think we're at, episode 275 total with the Facebook Live, so that means we're at roughly 125 episodes here on the podcast in the first 9 months. Yeah, we're cranking them out pretty good. I will tell you that. We are cranking them out pretty good. All right. So what do you say we dive into the top 10? So our, let's see here. Number 10. Oops, hang on here. Our number 10 episode. Drum roll, please. I'll actually have a drum roll here. So drum roll, please. Our number 10 episode ranking still is episode 165. And that's Due Diligence and Turnkey Note Investing with Dan Zatoski. Our big buddy Dan came on to talk about kind of his business model for using notes and to help him find deals that make sense that he can turn into turnkey rentals. We actually started off of a Facebook rant he had about people not doing due diligence on a property, even hedge funds doing due diligence, I think, on a Memphis asset that he was making a bid on, and wondered why it did not close or he didn't get approved for it because somebody else was buying it at a price way, way too high. So glad to have Dan on. He's been on here twice, but his episode 165 ranks in at number 10. All right. And he's doing some great stuff as well. I think actually Dan's going to start his own podcast as well here shortly. So good stuff for him. Number 9. Drum roll, please. Is episode 175, starting from ground zero. This is an episode I did where I talked about what I would do if I had to start over again, where I would go, what I would do. It's done really well as far as downloads, but it was interesting because I think a lot of people took that, listened to it to understand, like, hey, I would do the same things I'm talking and telling you to do here on the podcast every day. You know, going out and marketing, going out and sending email blasts, reaching out to the asset managers on a pretty regular basis to make sure that we get in front of them to get deals sent to us that nobody else sees. So that's what number 9 or episode 175 is all about, but that's number 9 in the top 10 of our first few months here. So number 8 is probably a little bit surprise for some people, but not so much of a surprise to those that are in our mastermind group, because number 8 is number 8 episode of our top 100 downloads is episode 193. It's Howard Marcel, however you want to pronounce his name. Our good buddy Howard, who came from the Dominican Republic to the United States, started buying notes. Howard's done a tremendous job. I think Howard just closed on 6 more notes last week. Being a full-time note investor, living in Florida. I believe he's living in Tampa now with his family, just focused on full-time note investing. And Howard loves to share his story, too, about, hey, his first 4 deals, one of them was just he lost money on. Another one he broke even on. He made money on 2 out of the 4. But it's a great episode. Highly encourage you to go check out episode 193. If you've not listened to it, Howard's got some great lessons. And you know what? It might be time to get him back on the show because he's closing on some other stuff. Talk about some new case studies and things like that. So kudos to Mr. Mark All. All right. Now, number 7 is probably one of the most popular ones as well. This one really didn't surprise me because I see this happen a lot on Facebook. And so, number 7 was our episode on wholesaling notes. And this really doesn't surprise me because we get a lot of people, especially when I speak publicly or travel. I come across a lot of wholesalers in different real estate investment markets or investment clubs who want to get their feet started. And wholesaling notes is one of the best ways to do things. It's really how I got my start in the note business. And it's not hard to do. But the biggest thing I like to tell people is, hey, do not let that be your only way. Keep looking to buy deals. Don't just wholesale because you leave a lot of money on the table. All right. So that's episode 174 is our 7th highest episode. Okay. Episode number 6 comes from one of our sponsors who just does a great job. And lo and behold, number 6 is our good buddy Aaron Young, Creating Your Entity Fortress. It's episode 153. All right, or 152. This is our 3rd episode. It still does well. It's ranked number 6 in the top 10. And Creating Your Entity Fortress with Aaron Young Aaron just does a great job. It's why he's one of our sponsors. He's why he's one of our brothers from another mother. Just a great guy. Definitely has a big heart and his whole staff at Lawfulness just does a tremendous job getting helping everybody out there. So that was episode number 6. Not really surprising us so far. Episode 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 kind of fall into place. I kind of figured these would be kind of in the next order. Okay. Yeah. Eric Hyde. Aaron Young. Eric Hyde. It's funny. Anyway, number 5. Drum roll, please. Episode 167 had us featuring Due Diligence for Dummies, Part 1, where we broke down the front end of due diligence on notes, and then Part 2 was the back end after we made a bid and got accepted. So no real surprise that ranks in the top 5. Due diligence is always one of the questions that pops up from everybody. How do you break down a deal? How do you do due diligence? How do you, how do you identify a deal from a dud? And I might have to use it. How do you identify a deal from a dud? It might be a new episode that we do as well. So kudos to all you guys who have listened to that. But like I said, episode 167 is the Due Diligence for Dummies Part 1. Episode number 4 does not surprise me as well because it would have been our 3rd full episode. All right. Number 4. Drum roll, please. Is one thing that we've been focused on doing more of is our episode 153 is our first note case study where we went from start to finish on it. So when Jen came in, we talked about how we found the asset, how we broke it down due diligence wise, what we looked at, and then ultimately how we have gone with that asset going forward. Our case studies always do really well. People love hearing about deals. It's one of the big reasons why we tell everybody that we come in contact with, especially coming to our fast track or our mastermind, is the more case studies you can talk about, the more people you'll have watching it. So we've taken some of our own advice to keep walking through different note case studies. And I would highly encourage you, if you have not, to check out one of the most recent episodes of where we go through the good, the bad, the ugly, some new case studies and some contract for deeds that we bought a few months ago. But that's episode number 4. Not really surprised there. People love that. Episode number 4 was our 4th actual episode. So 4 for 4 on that one, if you think about it. So the next one kind of did surprise me, but it doesn't. I guess it does and doesn't a little bit. Is our number 3 episode. Doesn't surprise me. It's our 2nd episode. It's business models for your note business, where we talk about the different ways to make money, whether you're going to be in rentals, in wholesaling, fix and flips, or buy and hold, or buy and foreclose. Always does really well when we talk about the different business models. People love to hear this. It's one of the things we speak about a lot when we travel. But with it being number 2 episode, doesn't surprise me if people are listening to that one almost immediately when it comes to our downloads and things like that, especially in iTunes and that neck of the woods. Because that's what we're running it off of. This top 10 is all about the downloads. Now, numbers may be a little bit different when you look at Facebook, YouTube views, stuff like that. because we've got a huge amount of views that way that dwarf our download stuff. But this is the easiest way to track it through our iTunes download stuff as well. So that one doesn't surprise me. Business model is always an important one. So number 2, drum roll, please. Episode 2 is one of the episodes, or not, sorry, it's not our most latest episode on here, but this number 2 downloaded episode is Closing on Bank Assets. And this was the episode that we brought on Adam Adams, Joe Banarina, Jimmy Kubiak to talk about the portfolio that they bought from a bank and how they found it, how they kind of raised capital for it, and their game plan moving forward to it. So always a hot topic. Always obviously talking about closing on bank assets. Highly encourage you to listen to that episode as well. It drives home a point. You can buy assets directly from banks. You don't have to be a big name in the business to do this. Joe Banarina, Jimmy Kubiak, a couple great guys here in the Austin, San Antonio market. You know, they called around the banks using Distress Pro and Lane Guide and got an asset manager in a bank in San Antonio that wanted to send a portfolio out. And then they partnered up with Adam Adams from our mastermind. I mean, all 3 of the guys are in our Note Mastermind group. But partnering up with fellow mastermind Adam Adams. Adam helped raise the capital, and they've taken down a pretty cool portfolio. And that's been business changing for all 3 of them, especially the fact that they don't chase individual deals. They're more so going after portfolios now where they can buy 2, 3, maybe 4 of those a year. And that's all that they need to really drive their business home to hit their financial and retirement goals, which is kudos to all of them, which is what everybody should be working for. Yeah, it's a note business. Note business is all about finding great deals, but if you can find portfolios, they can sell them to you at a discount that you can take down, whether you're either doing it with different JV partners and carving out different agreements, or you're buying the whole thing and getting a PPM put together to take down and do some bigger things. So kudos to those guys. Glad to see episode 189 is our number 2 episode as far as downloads. Now, I'd like to put it out. What do you guys think the number 1 episode is? You know, we've got a lot of people that listen in, that watch our Facebook Lives. This didn't really surprise me a little bit so much because it's been highly ranked since we ran it. It's not our number 1 episode, our first episode, which would kind of lead to like, I'm going to listen to the first episode and go from there. Not the case. Our number 1 downloaded, most watched episode actually had a huge download. We had a big, huge boost in 1 day downloads on this thing. They just took off. Donovan Lucio asks, was it mine? No, Donovan, was not your episode. All right, brother, let's try that again. Sorry. Number 1 episode is all about launching your business. It's episode 195, launching your business, largest download over the last 9 months. Blown away. I mean, it's heads and tails above everybody else. And this is where we just talked about kind of what you need to do to get things rock and roll. We needed to start things off. And I don't know if the keyword search helped with the SEO optimization, but anytime you have business in your headline, it actually boosted it quite a bit. So lots of downloads, lots of listen throughs to the end on this one. This one just not only ranked high here on iTunes, but it's also ranked very high on Vimeo and our YouTube channels as well, with a lot of downloads. So launching your business, obviously people are focused on doing that, and they often need the most amount of help because it's the little things that they worry about, the contracts or the entity setup and things like that. So once again, definitely love the fact that a lot of people are watching and listening. It is what we can do. It's good to see some people out there this morning. We've got Fuquan. Good morning, Fuquan. We've got Donna Maxwell Wilson. Good morning. Eric Hyde, obviously. Donovan and a few others that are out there watching, which is great. Roy Johnson, good to see you, buddy. That is awesome that you guys are watching on a regular basis. So what questions, what comments, anybody have questions or comments out there of any of the episodes? You know, one of the things that we strive to do is always deliver good content. We've got the Indiana Hotshot joining us this morning and watching here. Good morning, Gene Chandler. Hope you're doing well up there from Elkhart, Indiana. Good to hear that. Good to see that you're out there rocking along. Gene's episode's done really well as well here in the last couple days. Bud Salmon, good morning to you, buddy. Good morning to you. Odie in the house. Good stuff. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here on this episode. So one of the great things that we have done, I think, that has helped separate us, and I've heard this from repeated people that have been on the show or people that have listened to the show, the fact that we do shake it up a little bit. We do bring on guests on a regular basis, okay? With different topics and different markets and different, business models. It keeps it refreshing. It's not all about what Scott is doing. It's not all about what We Close Notes is doing. It's all about what's going on in the industry. And if you're brand new to listening to the show, hey, welcome, Teresa Crowley. Thanks for watching. Where do you go to watch the replays? Well, you can always go to iTunes and download all the replays by going to the Note Closers Show podcast. Very easy. You can go to our homepage, weclosenotes.com/podcast, I believe, or just check out the podcast side. Listen to everything from there. You can also go to iTunes and then also to weclosenotes.tv to watch all the replays in one area as well. Okay? Thank you so much. Yeah, you can listen there. If you love what you're listening to, Teresa, hey, make sure to leave a review on iTunes for us. We'd really appreciate it. All those that are listening out there, please do so. Thank you so much for everybody that has left a review. Definitely helps us with our marketing and stuff like that. Bud Salmon says, I have a hard time picking a favorite. All of them are good. Thanks, Bud. Appreciate it. Chris Bowles, hey, buddy, good morning. Great content. Thank you, Bud. We need to get you a image for your Facebook page, my friend. You got to quit being this Mr. Invisible. Okay. Teresa Christ, thank you. No problem. Glad to help you. But literally, so for those that maybe didn't know what was going on, we're actually getting ready to take a little bit of a trip, Steph and I, a little bit of vacation we've been planning for actually over a year. Going to some fun places, and we'll be sharing kind of where we're headed. But we did not want to leave you guys just kind of stranded without the Note Closers Show. We could probably, get a few episodes from where we're going, but it's kind of a trip that we don't really want to be tied down to your computer to have to do something. I'll just share that with you. When you want to take some time off, and I know that with April and a chunk of May, with us being in Hawaii, and of course having Note Camp, and then of course the Mastermind, we didn't have that many episodes in April or the first part of May because of that. And we kind of seen a little bit of a dip, just based on downloads and people joining, because there just weren't that many new episodes. Well, we definitely wanted to make sure that you get some great stuff. And yes, I hear episode 272 is great. Yes, Mr. Eric Hyde, policing your note biz. Yes, a little self-promotion there from Mr. Eric Hyde out there. 272 was great. Definitely was definitely listened to it. Eric shared some great nuggets on his policing his note business. But what is funny, too, that Eric probably did not share is him being a police officer. He did a video about notes in his uniform and got written up. And his wife did not know about that until he was actually shared that on the podcast. His wife actually listened, which is kind of funny. And I met his wife this weekend, and she was like, yeah, all right. This is the guy you get written up for, which is kind of funny. But no, he's learned his lesson. And no, I know you're kidding there, Mr. Eric Hyde. We look forward to what you've got to offer over the next couple of weeks as well for you. Cedric Wilson, you got it exactly right. Have a great trip. Work hard, play harder. Yeah, we'll be having some fun and sharing, where in the world is Scott Carson? Where in the world is the Note Guy over the next couple of weeks? But we're excited. We reached out to a few of our past guests and some of our students to see about being guest hosts on the Note Closers Show podcast here over the next couple of weeks. And we're excited that 7 of them were able to say, hey, I've got some time in my schedule to do that. So like I said, we did not want to leave you hanging for 3 weeks without any new episodes. We wanted to encourage driving content, sharing some great stuff, sharing nuggets, hearing other stories, case studies out there. And so we're very honored to have 7 really great people going to be kind of running the show here over the next couple of weeks. next 2.5 weeks as we're out traveling. Of course, we got Eric Hyde is going to be joining us. We're glad to have him on here. Woohoo, as a guest host. We'll kick things off tomorrow with Bill Grissmeyer and Gail Villanueva being the first 2 guest hosts tomorrow. Then we also will have Gail Greenberg joining us as well. Katie Moton will make an appearance back on as a guest host. Patty Ped, one of our newest Masterminders, along with Chris Savigny, will be joining us as well here. Is that everybody? We got Bill, Eric, Chris, 3 guys, and 4 girls. So both Gales, Patty Ped, and Katie Moton. So yes, they'll be rotating through the next 7 days. It was great to visit with them yesterday on a little webinar we did with them, kind of getting them rock and rolling. Jen will be kind of manning the house here a little bit, making sure they get all going. But you've got some great stuff lined up based on what the just initial conversations with those 7 people on some of the great things that they're going to be sharing with you over the next couple of days and next couple of weeks until we get back from our little trip. But we may be making a little bit of a quick appearance on the show in some of the episodes. Depends on what our schedule has. But for the most part, I'm going to leave it in their capable hands and provide some great content to you guys, some great episodes, and keep it fresh. So highly encourage you to make it a point to join us at 10 a.m. here, 10 a.m. Central. If you're listening, if you're listening on iTunes, Stitcher, definitely want to listen to some of these podcast episodes, especially the newer ones that are popping up. Big shout out to our friends over at Podetize, Alexander Hazard, Tom Hazard, Tracy Hazard will be helping us with the production while we're gone and traveling. And then, of course, a big shout out to our marketing intern, Shannon, who will continue to post while we are out traveling and a great time. So I know that Eric's got some ideas he's going to be sharing, 7 tips for business owners. Is one topic he's planning the next couple of days. I know that Bill and Gail will be talking about tomorrow some case studies from hell. Or the no deal from hell, I think is what Bill mentioned last night. So really excited. Really, first of all, more than anything else, just thankful that these guys will jump in during their busy schedule to kind of host and pick up the torch while we out running around and having some fun. Let's see, what does Gail say here? Hey, everyone, please tune in as we kick this exciting series of podcasts. Let's not let those numbers dip with Scott and Stephanie our way. Hopefully no one will throw virtual tomatoes at us. Now, you guys will be good. I guarantee you won't have any, the Rotten Tomato scale will be high, not low. So thank you, Gail. You will have a great time on it as well. Lots of fun stuff for everybody out there as well. But one of the things that we have got planned just to share with you guys, we're working on some new software to help with the note industry. Now, I'm not talking about due diligence software. There's plenty of those out there, especially when you have notepros.com to help you with this stuff. You guys don't need help with due diligence. Trust me. If you use NotePros at $29 a month or $49 a month, that's a big chunk of what you need to do. You don't need help pulling O&Es. You use ProTitle USA for that. All right. You don't need help pulling values because that's what realtors are for. Okay. What I'm trying to get at is a lot of people struggle with getting deals into their inbox. And so we are now doing something kind of cool based on all the data that we've collected over the years with people, their top 3 markets, what are they looking for, especially from those that have attended Note Camp and filled out surveys and things like that. We're going to be taking a lot of that information internally, and we're working with a really cool company to help kind of automate some things that if you are joining us on a podcast and we're talking about a case study on a deal, you can literally comment in the questions a specific code or specific word, and our Note bot will kick in and help provide information, either due diligence or provide you similar deals in similar markets or your top 3 markets to really help you streamline the deal origination side. That's a couple things that we're focused on here is with our relationships with all these asset managers, our database. Don't know why we've not done this sooner. Just you can only do so many things at so many given times, but literally helping you streamline finding some deals that maybe are in your backyard or in your backyard markets that you're looking to buy in. Where things come to your inbox, things come to your Facebook page, things come to your smartphone, where you can literally, see an asset, see some of the due diligence breakdown that we have pulled, and then also if you wanted to, put it under contract, be able to press a button and literally have that thing go under contract and an O&E and a BPO ordered for you from the touch of your phone, so that it's coming to you quickly, effectively, and really kind of streamline things. So that's some of the things that we're focused on putting it together in place, really trying to take the whole artificial intelligence thing to a whole new level, especially in the real estate community, and doing it with our students first and foremost before anybody else rolls it out. So that's what we're focused on. Got some really great stuff doing that, combining that with our training to really help our note bot, understand what's going on and really help educate you guys that are listening and watching out there. So highly encourage you to check out the Note Closure Show Facebook page. If you've not been there, you can always email me as well with specific show questions to Scott@thenoteclosershow.com. Scott@thenoteclosershow.com is where you can always email me at. Always try to get that response to you in roughly a 24 to 4, usually 24-hour basis to kind of help make sure your questions get answered. If you have concerns about the show, hey, we're always glad to hear about that as well, to help identify any things that we can to make things better for you. If there's things that you're struggling with, there's things that you want us to do differently, hey, we're glad to help out in any way we possibly can for you. Any questions, comments, concerns for you guys out there? Also, one of the big things as well to keep in mind too, everybody, is that our Note Camp 5.0 is literally up on iTunes and Stitcher and all the podcast. It's up there. Each chapter, each session is its own podcast episode. And that's gone over 1,500 downloads in just a short time that we've had, which is great. We didn't really know what to expect from throwing on a conference like that online, but you can download all the episodes and listen in to all the speakers, Rhonda Britton, don't want to forget Sharon Lecter, Mark Usick, bunch of those speakers had some great stuff to share on there. So obviously opportunity if you're traveling, listening to the show. And then of course, once again, No Night in America, all of the 2018 episodes are uploaded on iTunes as well for you. And that's over 1,000 plus downloads. I think it's over 1,500 downloads on the episodes going back this year. I think we've done 13 of the No Night in Americas. We'll do number 14 tonight before I leave. I'll get that uploaded so you guys can listen to that as well here by the end of the week. So as always, excited. One of the things we're doing, we're going to be hitting some pretty cool places here on our journey. My big goal is always, especially as we travel abroad, always to talk to realtors and find out kind of what's going on in those states, not those states, those countries, financing, home ownership. It's obviously different in different areas of the country or different areas of the world. We will be hitting a few countries that we're pretty excited about, flying to London tomorrow, and then on to Spain and Barcelona, and then hitting Italy, probably hitting France back on the way into. So pretty excited to hit some of those exotic locations and really enjoy ourselves and kind of recharge it a little bit, but not to let the ball drop. You're going to really enjoy some of the stuff that everybody else has out there available. But guys, as always, I don't want to take too much more of your time up on a Monday. I know Monday's a very busy day for you guys, just like it is for me. I want to thank all of you for listening. I want to thank you for listening on our top 10 episodes. More importantly, thank you so much for helping us hit our first big number, 100,000 downloads in our first 9 months. Our big drive then is to try to hit, going to have to really up our game to hit 250,000 by the end of 2018, but I think it's possible. And really, really crunch some numbers out there to really help share what's going on in the note industry and why we think it is the final frontier of real estate investing. So go out, make something happen, be safe, and we look forward to seeing you all at the top, everybody. Bye. Thanks for listening, everybody.